So when I sit in my counseling rooms, there's one thing that I tell everyone. How do you become better? You turn up. You run a race with yourself. Data allows a person to psychologically comprehend where they are running the race with themselves.
How does fitness correlate with diet? We do know that it's 70% nutrition and 30% exercise.
This saying is true. It's 70%. I would say it's even 80% diet. If you've ever kept a cycle or a container out in the monsoon, what happens to it?
Rusts.
It rusts. Simple English, sugar goes in and gives thappad to your body. And then your body is getting sad and it's starting getting older. So, when you have exercise wearables, they have sensors that can be like a Sherlock Holmes. Ki bhai, tu sahi kar raha hai? Are you doing it correctly?
Nowadays, fitness is paramount for a sustainable and healthy life. And when we think about the word fitness, there are two things that comes to our mind. That's rigorous activities and exercises. But do you know that fitness is beyond these words? It is actually about living a healthy and sustainable life. And in recent times, we are witnessing a rise in health-related issues which are lifestyle-bound. For example, obesity, heart issues, diabetes, and abnormal lipid profiles. The question being, can we navigate all these issues? And can wearable devices help us in monitoring and taking corrective measures? Welcome to Health Watch, where we deep dive into the world of health and fitness to live your best and healthy life. And today, I am being joined by a very special guest. I'm being joined by Ryan Fernando, who's a renowned nutritionist and also a fitness expert. Welcome, Ryan.
Reisha, thanks for having me on Health Watch. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right, Ryan, let's start with basics. Why is fitness so crucial, especially in today's time where all of us are leading such an erratic lifestyle?
See, we're all stressed out because we are leading very fast-paced lifestyles. And people are getting sicker due to lifestyle diseases. The word lifestyle means what? Your life is not in the best style. So what I tell people is you've got to look inward and look at your health. And what are the basic pillars of health? They come with sleep, they come with nutrition, they come with exercise. And these are the foundations that build your lifestyle.
Right, absolutely, Ryan. There's so many factors that contribute to living a healthy lifestyle. And a major obstacle which even I face is consistency. How does one overcome that?
So when I sit in my counseling rooms with the superstars, the athletic superstars, and the millionaires and the billionaires, there's one thing that I tell everyone. How do you become better? You turn up. You run a race with yourself. So it's very important to understand that when people come to me and talk to me about sleep, about exercise, or about food, I ask them back again, what are the small changes that you yourself can make in each one of these departments by turning up? People always look to say, I will win the gold medal in their life. But to win a gold medal, you have to start. Start, turn up, and most importantly, be true to yourself by knowing what you are doing.
Right, Ryan, I also want to talk about wearables. I myself am wearing one. They've become incredibly popular these days. Talk to us about how well they perhaps fit into the fitness regime.
As a person who works with elite Olympic level athletes, I want to get a gold medal. When I work with the normal Aam Aadmi, I want them to win the gold medal in their life. Data allows a person to psychologically comprehend where they are running the race with themselves. Meaning what? Today, you said you're wearing an exercise wearable, right? And I tell you, Rahisha, you need to walk. So what's your next question?
How much do I have to walk?
So I can give you walking from time or distance, and now wearables give you your personal time and your personal distance, setting a goal for yourself. So any data that is quantifiable and personally bio-individualized to you to track is an amazing tool for your psychological goal of progress. And therefore, I am a huge believer in exercise wearables in not only sports programs, and I'm of the belief that this should trickle down even to the Aam Aadmi, because everyone's in their own race in life and everyone wants to win a gold medal.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about features like race, which can help us perhaps outdo or motivate ourselves to maintain the fitness regimen. What do you have to say on that?
See, whenever somebody comes in for advice to me and I have to motivate them, I say to them, don't compare yourself to another athlete. Don't compare yourself to your neighbor. Don't compare yourself to your brother-in-law. Compare yourself to the past version of you. When you have features in an exercise wearable that is able to track your progress, how quickly you can run a race against yourself, you will get insights that tap into the basic human behaviors, which is competition. Be competitive to your own self. So psychologically, the exercise wearable with features in it which motivate you to go to the next level are an A++ in my book.
That's a great point, Ryan. I also want to talk about the body composition and how wearable devices can help us monitor and track our body composition.
You know, when all of these elite superstars come to me, and this is not now, this has been for a long time, I'm like, look, I need to know not only your weight, but I want to know your fat and muscle percentage.
Okay.
Now, you need to understand muscle in the human body is the only age-reversible organ. And the more amount of muscle that you have in your body as you grow older is thumbs up for wellness and fitness and living a very long life, a healthy life. Now, when body composition is linked to, let's say, measurements, let's say I know that you have a higher fat percentage. I will say, I think I need you to do some sort of exercise at a certain target heart rate.
Okay.
And when you do that target heart rate, I also want a distance. So body composition coupled with an exercise wearable gives a client a measurable tracker, not only on the weighing scale, but on a progress metrics.
How AGS can help us understand how our diet is affecting us.
If you've ever kept a cycle or a container out in the monsoon, what happens to it?
Rusts.
It rusts. Rust is an oxidation. So AGE is a complex glycation. Simple English, sugar goes in and gives thappad to your body. Okay? So when it's giving a slap to your body, the body is like, oh, you gave me a slap. Now I'm very, very cutty with you. I'm going to be very, very sad. And then your body is getting sad and it started getting older. Like there is a molecule called HbA1c, which is called glycosylated hemoglobin.
Okay.
That is telling you on a 3-month level how much of sugar was there in your diet. And when that blood test comes to me, I know how much of thappad you've been giving inside to your blood. Now, these can be measured today at every level, including at the skin level. So, when you have exercise wearables, they have optical sensors. They have sensors that can be like a Sherlock Holmes. Ki bhai, tu sahi kar rahe? Are you doing it correctly? And because of that, when I am able to track this via an exercise wearable or a blood test, or just by making my client aware that, look, you shouldn't be aging your body by putting the wrong things inside of you, I think the client's going to be like, is there any truth to this? And when I'm able to show them a measurable reading, then the next question they ask is, Mr. Ryan Fernando, how can I get it down?
Right, Ryan. I also want to ask you, how can wearables help us in monitoring our workouts? And talk to us about features like energy score. How does that come into play?
You see, I've been working with superstar champions for the longest period of time. There will be days you have a full charged body, and there will be days you won't have a full charged body. This is actually dependent on your sleep, your diet, and your exercise of the previous days. So sometimes in these elite champions, when they overtrain, the body's energy score comes down. So when you have features that are able to measure these variation in rates, which is actually a reading of your resting heart rate and something called as your heart rate variability. You will know that you have recovered. You will know that you need to take that workout slow, or you will know that you need to go full throttle like an Olympian.
Ryan, what about nutrition? How does fitness correlate with diet? We do know that it's 70% nutrition and 30% exercise, but what do you think?
So, whenever people work out, they do whatever they want and they say, I'll eat whatever I want. My response to them is that, and this saying is true, it's 70%. I would say it's even 80% diet. The protein, the carbs, and the fats need to be carefully monitored. It's a simple energy equation. The energy equation is how much do you expend, how much do you consume. Very simple, like how you fuel a car. How much do you drive? How much of fuel do you put into your car? So when people understand how much they're driving their vehicle, that's the human body, they will arrive at what we call as the energy expenditure of the human body. I have to prescribe the carbohydrate for energy requirement, protein to retain your muscle, help in building all the hormones and the breakdown of the skeletal and the muscle system, and the fats are essential for amazing functioning. And as I always say to people, your body is the most expensive real estate. What you put into your body is of the highest paramount importance.
Right, Ryan. We spoke about how important nutrition is, and it brings me back to another very crucial question. Can wearables help us track the nutrition that our body intakes?
Absolutely. Two parts. One is there are a lot of apps out there which can integrate back into wearables. So a person gets best of both universes. One is the data tracked off your personal body and the data tracked off your dining table. The second part is, assume a film star comes to me and has to lose 10 kgs of weight. And I tell this film star, start walking. At the beginning, the film star is 100 kgs and has to go to 90 kgs. The nutrition, that is the protein, carbs and fat for a 100 kg individual, and the nutrition of the protein, carbs and fat changes for the 90 kgs. So exercise wearables give you a direction where to go in terms of energy expenditure.
Ryan, there's so many things floating online about fitness and wearables. Talk to us about some common misconceptions when we talk about fitness and wearables.
So one of the biggest misconceptions I see is that people think that the exercise wearables will solve your problem. No. What they do is they help you monitor data. They're tracking devices. You have to step up. You have to change your behavior. You have to take a psychological decision. In buying an exercise wearable is part one. But part two, which is the more difficult part, is taking cognizable action. For example, I ask a client to walk 10,000 steps a day. The exercise wearable will track the 10,000 steps. But what people actually do is the novelty of using something begins to wear off because they see this like any other purchase. What I want to convince them is that these are life-changing devices.
Ryan, we do know that 8 hours of sleep is must for a good functioning brain and body. But how important is sleep when it comes to fitness and overall health?
This is a question I keep hammering to all my Bollywood superstars, that they have the best nutrition plan, they have the best trainers, but they have the worst possible sleep because of occupational hazard.
Yeah.
So what I say to people is tracking your sleep is a great function. Now, a sleep score is something that people need to understand. If I didn't have exercise wearables, I would tell people sleep for 8 hours. Do you know that when you get less sleep, you undersleep by 2 hours. So say the magic number is 8 by Ryan Fernando, and you get 6 hours of sleep. The next day, your heart beats faster because of more adrenaline to keep you awake, which means you eat 200 to 900 calories more. If I can track your sleep, I can sit down in a counseling room with you and explain to you, bhai, you're not sleeping enough and that's why maybe you're having this health problem. You're gaining weight even though your diet is perfect.
Ryan, you know that all of us are living in a day and age where we're always running against time. There's so much stress in all our lives. talk to us about stress management and how does that tie into fitness?
So stress can be two types, okay? There's a mental stress, psychological stress, and physiological stress. Both are interlinked in the body. Now, when somebody does exercise, there's a brilliant example I tell a person. Somebody who's 30 years of age working out and somebody who's 60 years of age working out, the response of their heart to the exercise stress is different.
Okay.
So if you use an exercise wearable, you can exercise at a zone, a personalized heart rate zone. And people don't know this. Your heart at a higher level burns carbohydrate as a fuel source. Your heart at a lower rate burns fat as a fuel source. So by knowing where your exercise variable is tracking your heart rate, you can personalize your heart rate zone, which in turn controls the stress of the workout.
Finally, Ryan, what are your key takeaways for our listeners?
Technology is amazing. Technology changes life. I believe exercise wearables have helped a lot of my clients become true to themselves and not fib me. It's like the exercise wearable is the headmistress in your school silently telling you, behave yourself, you need to improve your performance.
Right.
But having said that, these are not diagnostic tools. They are great devices to track the progress of you wanting to make changes. But whenever somebody is trying to take care of their health, I encourage them to do the standard medical checkups, to look at a doctor, a great physio, have a personalized certified trainer, and beyond all, please meet the nutritionist also.
And thank you everyone for watching this podcast. And like Ryan said, that your health is the most expensive real estate. So consistency is the key to be more healthy and also achieve a better lifestyle. Share this podcast with all your family and friends. And thank you so much for watching The Health Watch.